Right.
You know, you should get off the elevator and know who you want to walk into. So I got tired of it. If you live there, you know, you got to take action.
Right.
And that's what I did. And and it has gotten better. It is better.
Right.
And I think people need to see, you could get any old newspaper articles about schoolhouse and then come through there now.
Right.
Nobody allowed to hang in our buildings. After 10 o'clock, the breezeways are clear. I took up all the benches because you people used to sit out there all night long and smoke and drink. You're not allowed to drink on the property because it's sad what you have to do to your own people. But one person, if you let one person drink, then another person could drink. Then what happens after that? A fight break out. Then it's uncontrollable, and so we had to stop all that. And the police, another sad thing about it, the police department, they not backing us either. One time we needed help, it took them 45 minutes to get to us. And you know who they jumped on? They jumped on us. Not the people that came from back Maryland to fight us or start trouble because we going to let them on the property with trouble, whatever. They snapped on us. They want to know when we bringing back the new guards. Why? When the other guards coming back? We done a better job than the armed guards, than the police department, any security company they put in their property, and it was started by from the tenants.
So what about HUD? Did HUD play any part of it? I mean, after all the problems you went through, it just seemed like you was by yourself with everything. And the tenants or the advocacy groups that was with you, it just seemed like you was by yourself. But however, when I read the federal regs, it states that, you know, HUD's supposed to support resident participation, ensure that you living in a violent-free, drug-free environment. But it just seemed like you was one woman, like Moses, to clean up the whole area. So, I mean, I find that so gratifying to know that somebody loved this community, because you could have been shot, you could have been killed. And it's just sad that to hear this from you, I feel your pain. And I feel how you feel. So the press didn't never come up and do a follow-up story after all they put New Jack City up there. They didn't do no follow-up story?
I haven't heard anything from the press since we better where we live at. Since we've been in charge for 2 years, no press. I even asked Michael Clark. I said, why haven't we heard from you since, you know, why don't you come through there now? No comment. We don't hear anything now. We barely get too many police officers in there anymore. We used to have fire alarms pour all the time. Not anymore. But we really don't hear from anybody. You know, it's not that I'm looking to hear from anybody, but I think somebody should recognize and realize what can be done and what we did. We got all the bad rap. Why can't people come through there now? Because now people that didn't want to live in the schoolhouse is trying to get in the schoolhouse now. You know, want to move back in there. And it got a lot to do with our owner also. But I got this man's cell phone, his personal, his office phone. And it does make a difference when the owners participate and work with you.
Right.
And anything I say, if I don't want to put this person on a trespass, we catch you smoking, doing any drugs, or urinating. I mean, it used to be bad. Now we have 150-something cameras all out through the building. I have my own surveillance room and everything, and that also helped, the cameras. But the landlords need to get together with the tenants and listen. And I think the new owners did listen, and then they're going to do they're going to take whoever it takes to take care of their building also. So I'm not.
Well, I mean, I'm not against owners who cares about where they live at. And I know, knowing you personally, if the owner likes you, I know he got the right person on the job. And I know you not a sellout. I know that for myself. I know that you care where you live at. You didn't do all this fight to that the owner is going to give you a job. You did this with, you know, with your heart. Not only that, HUD supports tenants to be in charge of security, and you do get stipends for that. Even with the housing authorities, they doing that as well. So don't think that because you're doing it and you multifamily, you don't have to have that right to take over security. So that's not, you know, the issue right there. the issue is with me is that I see a hard-working woman like yourself go out here, passionately fight for a community, whereas it's known for the worst is drugs and shooting and everything, and you don't get the proper recognition. But when I go to these functions, I see people that didn't do half of what you did get all these awards. And I know that awards don't mean nothing because your reward is in heaven, but sometimes it's good to get a pat on the back because you know you spent money and time to start a tenants association. You did a lot of stuff, and I believe that the community should recognize a leader and a fighter like yourself, and it's more than well deserving. So I want you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have any last minute words?
I was going to comment on what you just said, that I didn't do this for money. No, I didn't. I was doing it. I've done this for like 9 years before this new owner took over. And I guess the owner just seen how passionate and that I cared about this building. And he asked, and I used to complain about security, so he wanted to figure that maybe the people that live there would care, that the person like me that care where I live at would do a better job than the guards. And I had a job. I was doing both of them at first. I was going to work during the day and working at the schoolhouse at night. And no, it wasn't for money, but you know, I do need to pay bills. But I'm just getting paid for something that I was doing for free anyway. Exactly. So it doesn't. But it's really hard to like explain, because what happened, it wasn't planned. It just happened. I would never thought that I would be sitting here running this building. Matter of fact, I'm running 3 buildings. Right. And a long time ago, I had opportunity to leave, and it probably wasn't my time to leave. It probably was everything. Everybody have a purpose, and I don't know if my purpose was to straighten out this building. And I know I'm gonna go forward because God said we're going to always keep on going. But for some reason, I really can't explain what is it about this building. That I guess it was anywhere I live, but this is the first time I've been in a low-income housing or project. We lived in a home. I never been in a with a position where I'm at now. So I never even knew people lived like this until I moved in. To and like I ended up being home. The apartment building ended up closing up where I was at. We lost our house. We had to let the house go. And I ended up at the schoolhouse from a rooming place to the schoolhouse of living with somebody. So I love my apartment just like if I was in a $20,000 or $400,000 house. That was you make the best of where you live at. But I couldn't believe that people was living like that. You know?
Well, I'm glad that you was in place to change people's lives, and you should be commended for that. And I just want you to know that, you know, I want everybody to understand, the audience to understand that this is very important. She's a legendary advocate, and this is the problems that she faced. She stood strong, and she fought for the residents, and she worked with management, and that's a productive measure that all residents would like to have where they live at. So, Cheryl, I thank you for coming out, and thank you for coming out today and spending your time with us. Hi, we're back to Real Talk from the real people in the Atlantic City community, sponsored by Newark HUD Tenant Coalition. And I'm the host, Merceda Gooding. And now I have Mr. Daniel Smith, who is an activist that just been born here in Atlantic City. Mr. Smith, I would like to ask you some basic questions. Tell me about your experience and why you are an activist at this point.
I felt let down by the staff at the Atlantic City Housing Authority. I felt betrayed. I felt less than a man because of the experiences they put us through, and without their cooperation, it just hurt us real bad. So I decided that it was time to fight for the people that don't know how to fight for themselves, and I've learned from a couple good people on how to do it.
Okay. Well, that sounds great, and we need more of you here. Tell me about your experience standing in line all night waiting for a voucher.
Well, I got up I stayed there about 14 hours, and throughout the whole experience, we watched fights, we watched drug use, alcohol abuse, and the police did little or very nothing to help the tension that was going on. In fact, they walked away when the fight was going on.
I'm pretty sure you had a lot of fear there. I understand children was out there as well.
There were children, there were handicapped people,